Tim Barris, local Cleveland sports fanatic, joined by the coach, the logo, my good friend Johnny. Johnny, how you doing tonight?
I'm awesome, bro. Playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
Yeah, dude. So we're a little late again recording in time of the week and
Of
an
the day,
hour.
yeah.
But I wanted to quickly recap some crazy shit in golf. So Scotty not only won the Masters, like we were talking about, he won the RBC and is doing things more dominant than Tiger, which is insane. For a tiny stretch, he's doing things that Tiger was the only one to do.
Yes.
Let me rephrase.
Okay,
let me rephrase. Then
Tiger was once
his lead
minus odds.
No. I misspoke. Like I said, late episode. So misspeak. But Scotty's lead, did you see this thing? Scotty's lead over Rory, which is 1/2, is larger than Rory's lead over number 784 Tiger Woods in the rankings, which people already have they say those rankings, they don't like them how they work, but it's still crazy. Nelly Korda won 5 straight tourneys.
Yep.
I don't know what that means in comparison to other women golfers, but I know that 99.99% of women's golfers probably never win 5 tourneys in their lifetime.
Probably not. Nope.
She won it straight. And then, so she needs her Caitlyn Clark moment. And then Caitlyn Clark,
yeah.
8 years, $28 million from Nike.
Good for her and good for Nike.
Is that the biggest ever girls?
I would assume
yeah,
so.
It's gotta
be.
I
mean, that's almost that's $3.5 billion per year.
Outrageous.
I mean, that's what going to be 30, 40 times more than her WNBA contract.
Yeah.
I mean, that's serious money. And what's interesting on the Nike standpoint is, Caitlyn Clark's built this really great following in college. A lot of athletes love her. This is going to be the first time we really see a WNBA athlete really get a major share of the spotlight. I'm going to love to see how Nike advertises it. I mean, they're geniuses.
There's a lot of the young hoopers that I'm around, boys even, wear these colorways that are meshed with Sabrina Ionescu. She has her own shoe, and they wear those shoes. So now I'm I know that people are going to be wearing Caitlyn Clark shoes for sure. So it's going to be cool.
It's interesting because it's all because of a rule that started in the 70s, the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Back in the day, there was no 3-point line, and some people would still wish it wasn't in the game, but that rule has, transcended and allowed different types of athletes like Curry, Caitlyn Clark to really, transform the game and transform what a basketball player is. It's no longer the Wilts and the Bill Russells or Kareem dominating in the paint. Now, the game has been more open up to everyone else.
You got anything on the golf guys?
No.
And I feel you. Okay, let's get into the meat of it. By the way, at the end of the episode, I got a good one for you.
All right.
We'll talk about the best kind of pop, whether it comes in a can, a bottle.
Oh, can or bottle, not
or a fountain. But don't give your answer yet. Yeah, We'll get there. All right, but playoffs. So I have a couple topics to go over.
All right.
There's so much shit that happened. It's chaos. There's been so much that's happened. Every game has been crazy. Last night's TNT doubleheader was the best I'm not kidding. I'm sure there's something that's not registering of another doubleheader that was elite. Best doubleheader I can remember in my life. And seriously, on a TNT Thursday, especially playoff night, Charles Barkley said it right after, and I was like, all right, I'm not tripping. But I wanted first question, because it was a little bit longer ago.
Yeah.
Is the Warriors dynasty over?
Yeah.
You think it's over?
Yeah, the only way I can see them really contending is if they try to really retool that roster. Let's go back, 3 years ago when they won the title. Everything seemed to go right that year, but the big factor was Andrew Wiggins played like an elite small forward.
Yep.
In order for Curry to win another title, he needs someone who's an elite small forward next to him. So if someone in LA decides to opt out and join him,
chill out.
maybe they can make another run.
But then it's not the same dynasty.
It's not the same dynasty.
Yeah.
It's faded. But what a run.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it's time to start focusing on pods and on Kuminga and even try to get Moses Moody a little bit more time. But yeah, they're probably cash. It's Steph. It's basically Steph at this point.
A 35-year-old Steph.
Trying to get a year or two out of him.
Yeah.
And if you can because he's playing like Steph.
It's an elite level.
It's not
yeah.
him. It's them. So it's like,
Well,
but
it's Clay.
it is. Well, Clay. Yeah, that game was Clay, but he came together a little bit.
A little bit.
Next question I got for you. I got like almost like I'm putting you through just question mode today. This is like we kind of know the answer. Did the Cavs lose to Orlando or lose to the Hornets on purpose last game of the year to play Orlando?
Yes. Look, it's interesting because like you go into that game, the plan was the starters were not going to play the full game anyway. So that was already planned. You go into that game and you lose Craig Porter Jr. early. He only played 10 minutes, got hurt. You're already down Dean Wade. Like they pull the starters at the end of the third. There's no need to put them back in. You have it the top 4 seed.
There's no need to put them back in, but like where I will play devil's advocate a little bit is like if we had to win that game to avoid Boston in the first round, is there a need to put them back in? Like you're putting them back in.
You're putting them back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would not have pulled them to begin with. You would have just kept the pedal to the metal.
Right.
To avoid Boston.
Right. So like they lost on purpose.
They did what was best for their franchise.
But they kind of did it sly. Like they did it. They weren't like no, they just don't talk about it. It's kind of like this understood thing from management.
Yeah.
Look, if we're up. But at the same time,
they weren't saying to turn the ball over.
I don't know how the matchups worked, but with New York, the New York game was close.
It
would have been like Indiana.
Game, right. Well, once New York won, if we would have won, it would have been Indiana.
Yeah.
But that game went into overtime.
Right.
That game finished after the Cavs game. You didn't know if they were going to win.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, if New York ends up losing that, you're the 2 seed. And you're dealing with Joel Embiid.
Exactly.
Which was not
so it's
happen.
Smart. It's smart. So I don't care whether they did it or not. I think it's the right move. Like I would do it.
And psychologically for this franchise, getting out of the first round is a big deal.
It is. But I don't want that to mean, like, if you're Cleveland, getting out of the first round is a big deal. But like, okay, so now is this our goal for the year? Like, 2 years ago, we lost in the play-in game, and then we made the playoffs, and now we lost in the second round. Like, don't approach it like that, and it's fine. But seriously, like, because like, don't you really? If the management of the Cavaliers is like, yo, we got to get to the second round just so we could keep this continuity going, like, and keep this, that's absurd. It's absurd. No, like, obviously they're in the approach of like beat Boston, but
which they could do.
It's just like not a satisfying. It's not a successful year. Boston just lost. Boston just lost to Miami.
What's a successful year to you for the Cavaliers?
Compete in a long series with Boston.
If they lose to Boston in
seven, like prove that you're a contender. Like contend. Like don't just 6 isn't enough for me. Like what about this roster is going to change at an monumental facet from this time of this year to this time of next year that is going to make you make this leap?
You draft Bronny James at 20 and LeBron comes back.
Yeah, but seriously, like, so that's why I'm not like happy with.
I mean, the one thing is though, Cavs still have to finish off their series in Orlando, but if we do end up playing,
and Boston has to finish out, they're tied. They're tied
1-1. But let's say it is a Cleveland Boston matchup. The Cavaliers are 4-3 against Boston over the last 2 years. Like they match up very well. Boston doesn't have that true like guy who can bully us underneath. Like Porzingis ain't gonna do that,
right? For sure.
Like Tatum's not gonna do that. Also, the Cavs' defensive versatility. You could put Mobley on Tatum at times, Okoro on Tatum, or Okoro on Brown, or Okoro on White. So you got like a lot of different options if you're the Cavaliers, where you didn't if you were playing Philadelphia.
And the way that the Cavs have shot the 3 in the second half of the year, and the way that Boston has defended the 3, I mean, the Heat just broke their franchise record for most threes in a game like 10 minutes ago.
Well, certain guys have to hit the 3, like Niang.
For sure. Like
the Niang, hit one all playoffs.
I mean, Merrill, he gave a shot to at the end of the one half. Like those dudes, like if they get an opportunity, they are going to get an opportunity to change a game here or there. They have to make them, but like the bread and butter guys, like the LeVerts, the Garlands, like they're going to get their looks.
And and another big thing we got to talk about, in game 1, the first 2 minutes, Evan Mobley changed that game. He hits 2 threes
right, 100%.
right off the bat, and then they stop sagging off of him. If you see that in the Boston series where Mobley hits a couple of threes to keep them honest,
yep.
Look out.
I got a very hot take for you.
Okay.
That's going to lead me to, like you said, nobody dominant. So I might bite my tongue on this comment in like literally 2.5 weeks,
It's
but
fine.
I don't know if Jason Tatum's that dude. I think
Is
there's
he
a
another? Or he's a Robin trying to be Batman.
I think there's a
100%.
category of like these super duper star killers, and then there's stars, and he's a star.
Yeah, the NBA is
And
very tiered. You have like
yeah,
your 5 elite guys, and then your next tier, and he's probably in that next
tonight's
tier.
kind of that example.
He's
like
not Luca.
he's not right, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
he's
when
not
we know
Embiid.
this, and I think 100% of people are agreeing with you on
And he
that.
might agree with you.
Yeah, so it's I think that I'm saying that to say it works for the Cavs' advantage. Like they can throw some guys like Okoro here and there. What Niang shocked the shit out of me the way that he was guarding Paolo when he first went on him, and it was like, but he's like kind of a brick wall. So like if you can put Niang in a guy that isn't going to go around him,
Yeah,
he
the
can
foot
guard.
speed factor. Yeah, because then he could body him up, put his body into him. Yeah,
and Paolo's got a good handle. Just not that like elite blow by ability. So like he's gonna shoot that mid
and
over
he's not
you.
great from 3, so you don't really
Exactly.
have to bite on the pump fakes.
Yep. So we kind of I mean, don't you feel like Orlando feels like Cleveland last year?
Yeah,
Because you watch them and they feel like you're like they're good.
they're good. They play
can't
hard.
figure it out though.
They play hard. They're good defensively. They're just struggling offensively, especially shooting the 3. Just like how last year, you could sag off of Mobley from deep. The Knicks sagged off of Okoro every game and made Okoro unplayable. Kind of like what the Cavaliers are doing to the Magic.
Yeah.
And Jared Allen kind of getting his groove,
I know.
together, averaging 18 rebounds a game in this series.
It's the next series where that's the
Finish
judgment
this
on
one,
him.
but yeah.
I know, but that's the judgment on him because you better outplay Jonathan Isaac and you better outplay the Wagners, whatever you want to say their name, but like you should, right? Like you're expected to do what you're doing right now in the series.
And the lights aren't too bright. The games are at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Fact. 2 series that have been sweet, 2 in the West. I'm switching.
Lakers,
quickly.
you're going Lakers?
The Lakers that series has been crazy. I don't know how they lost that game, dude. I don't know how. I saw one negative LeBron stat that he was like 0 for 7 in the restricted area last night. That's unheard of. Obviously that's like got to attribute to like some of his stamina, legs, but it might.
Do they have enough to finish?
Not anymore. I mean, you had to win that game. If they win game 2, I'm sitting on here and I'm telling you, I don't know, dude. If they find a way to win game 3, but now it's like, no, you're done. It's too much. That you got to take advantage of your opportunities. LeBron, you got that heat-seeking stretch from LeBron in the fourth quarter last night. You got that first half out of Anthony Davis. You got the D'Lo game. What else do you need? You got what you need and you still didn't come out with it. It's so deflating.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I do respect them for not trying to finagle the play-in to try to not play Denver in the first round. And it makes sense for a team like the Lakers. The Lakers are a championship or bust team.
Yeah.
Whether they lose in the first round or they lose in the conference finals, it's the same. It's a failure. So it makes sense while you're the freshest, they had 3 days of rest after they won their play-in tournament game to go face your hardest opponent first while you're still somewhat fresh.
No doubt. The only
it's
thing
just not working out for them.
For sure. The only thing I didn't like about it was some of their post-game comments and talking about this review here and officiating in the third quarter. They're talking about calls in the third quarter and things like that. And I'm like, dude, every series,
every game has
been chaos. And LeBron specifically brought up the chaos at the end of the Knicks game that led to them winning.
Philly blowing the 5-point lead with 35 seconds ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you really dissect even that play, there's just things that Nick Nurse could have called a timeout to advance the ball when you're up by 2 and now you're inbounding from the side with 11 seconds left.
And you could throw it. You have the whole court to throw it in.
You have the court to throw it in, and now you're not dealing with that. If you really slow that down and watch Embiid and Batum on that play, it's crazy how little they move. We've moved more in this however long.
Yeah.
I haven't got my ass off the seat, but we literally Batum, bro, he sits at the semicircle and watches that whole play. And then Dante gets the ball with 3 seconds left and he just sprints out there and it's too late. And that was how that happened. So it's basketball and 1000% of true basketball fans wishes that they called the regular season games the way that they're calling.
There would be so much more injuries, and
there'd be more injury. Dude, it's so fun to watch.
it is.
It's amazing. Like, it's amazing.
I mean, we grew up in the 90s, so we're used to seeing the 94, 92 games like the Pelicans and Thunder were in game one.
Even like 06, weren't the Pistons like holding teams to...
Well, they took it to an extreme because they...
Like 70s?
Because Larry Brown didn't want to push the ball, and he was the ultimate micromanager coach. But no, it was... I love seeing the defense. I love seeing the strategy. But yeah, they're never calling the regular season.
Yeah. And like, how about Anthony Davis just had the half of his life, and then all the Nuggets did was put Aaron Gordon on him in the second half. That's all they did. Like, they didn't... I was trying to like be like, are they going to double him from here and double him? Like, no, dude. They just put one guy on him, took him out of the game, and then then LeBron had to like they adjusted. They did well, but like, dude, it's just too much. The way...
A lot of miles on those legs.
For sure. And like, Jokic got in this mode where it's like, dude, I don't care. I don't care if it's Embiid and LeBron put together and one human trying to stop him. He's so good. He's the best player in the league. He's the best player in the league. He is.
And is he your MVP then? Is he still...
Oh, yeah. I said it 2 weeks ago. I said it now.
I still think SGA deserves it.
He's the best in the league, bro. When he gets in that mode, he's the one that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do to him. Like, last year, it was hitting 30-foot fadeaways over Anthony Davis. This year, it's posting up 2 men at once and dishing it when you stick 3 guys on him. Like, he's the best. He's the best. He's so good. Well, Mav series.
I mean, that's going to 7.
It's so...
it's exciting.
It's like, weird.
Clippers take game 1. Mavs steal game 2.
Take game 1 without Kawhi, and then
lose with Kawhi. I mean, Luka, though, played a lot better game 2 than game 1. Good. I mean, he had, 34 in game 2?
Yeah,
I mean, we're going 7.
And, like it's fun to kind of watch. Call me a hater on him, but it's fun to watch, like, a little bit of I don't believe in him in the series, but a Harden resurgence.
It is kind of cool.
He was sweet in game 1. It was fun to watch. It was like, oh shit, like, his Rockets.
This guy's still good.
Yeah. So that was sweet.
Maybe he's staying away from the clubs this series.
Maybe, but probably not. No. The Pelican series was even sweet. Like,
it's only been 1 game. They play game 2 tonight.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
They're gonna in a tight one, but like, they had a double-digit late game lead. That was like, nobody expects that, but you got the youngest team in the playoffs, so that could happen again tonight.
And then you have the Wolves just beating up on the Suns.
The Wolves beating, yeah. Is that the only series that has?
I mean, Indiana, Milwaukee are tied.
I mean, we probably were the biggest ass kickings besides that. The Cavs were probably the biggest ass kickings since besides that. But other than that, yeah, I agree with you. Which is a little bit surprising. Like, I didn't envision the Suns just getting their ass
kicked.
Neither did I.
Devin
Booker doesn't look good.
I thought Booker would be like, okay, I'm going to put up 40.
He's going to break out in game 3, and he probably will come with 40.
And we'll see what happens when that series shifts to Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're talking about the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell. He looks like he has that hop in his step back.
Yeah, dude.
He came out firing game 2. 12 points in the first 5 minutes. I mean, he looks happy.
He does look happy, and we all know there's this stigma around the Cavs that it's kind of like, yeah, they're in the series, they're supposed to win the series, they're gonna go and they lose this. Like, dude, the players know that shit. Like, and you can kind of see that they're like in a fire of like trying to whoop Orlando's ass. Like, they're not just sneaking away with some wins because they know about, like, they know what the media's saying. They're internally, I feel like, motivated to shock everybody next week in 2 weeks. Like, I really, it's the playoffs. Don't look past Orlando, but kind of.
Look, I'll say this though. Like, we've been lucky where we've gotten to see some really good Cavs teams. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse has a great atmosphere for the playoffs.
No doubt.
And the media might be like putting the pressure on, but you get those fans in that building, and the energy that those players can use is just insane.
For sure.
I was at game 1, and everyone has the white shirt on, the towels. Like, that crowd is going nuts from the jump. I don't know. I feel like you bring Boston in. Yeah, they have a home court in Boston. Whatever, the Garden.
You went to game 1, right?
Yeah, I went to
Like
game
when
1.
Niang got the crowd juice.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We were
In my
amped.
brain, I was like, dude, that's Tim out there. Tim's getting the crowd juiced right now. That's what we like about Niang is like, that's like,
he doesn't back down.
He doesn't back down, but it's also that like joking, like how now girls with Caitlyn Clark or like short guys like me with Steph Curry or like it's just like anybody could do this. Like look at Niang's out there. Like he's like stretching for 35 minutes before he gets in the game and like that's all his warm up is. But yeah, dude, but to speak to your point, facts. Like it's that crowd is electric. It kind of there's a select group like you think of the Warriors crowds, the Thunder crowds, the Cavs crowds, the MSG obviously with the Knicks, but we're one of them that like can get them going.
One of them. I think with like Cleveland sports, obviously the Browns are the Browns. Are always going to be the number one in Cleveland. Guardians, we do really well in the playoffs to support them.
Yeah,
but I always felt like the Cavs have the most positive energy of the 3 Cleveland sports
teams.
They
have like a secret like cult following.
Yeah, because like the Browns, like we're loyal, but we're also very negative and toxic.
For sure.
The Guardians, it's like, oh, they're doing well. Sweet, let's support them. If they're not, we just ignore them.
Yeah.
With the Cavs,
exactly.
It's like, oh, sweet, it's the Cavs.
Yeah, like
they're positive.
Like the Guards have won some games, so now I'm like checking the Guards every night.
Exactly.
And they lost 8-0 and whatever. I just ignore it.
I like baseball a little bit more than you, but it's okay. A 17-7 start is great. We'll talk more about that another time.
I actually have 2 fun questions for you.
Right.
I got one. I heard if you had 10, now you could allot these championships. So that's fun playoff thing, by the way. To recap the playoffs.
Oh, I do have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Obviously we're mostly 2 games in. Do you see any surprises from here to the end of the first round?
It depends if you still believe that the Mavericks is a surprise.
No.
Yeah, because I think the Thunder take care of business. My
Philly.
I don't think. I think I think the Knicks have. I think the Knicks got it. My surprise would be Miami. If Miami finds a way to even split the series up and make Game 5 interesting, like if they go 1-1 at home, I'd give Eric Spoelstra a lifetime contract tomorrow, like lifetime, and then up whatever extension.
Well, they waited. They waited till after his divorce.
Yeah. Well, then now you got to up it again, do something, because that would be the most outrageous thing of all time. It would be so insane. But no, I'm looking at it right now while you're talking real quick.
Also love the hat.
Thank you.
It's a
Kermit
great
the Frog, baby. Boom. It's not a surprise to me, the Pacers, but that was one of them.
I think that is a surprise. I mean, Dame goes off in Game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us have said he's washed, but then they lose Game 2.
I know. They guarded him way harder in Game 2 too. Like, and me and Nick were talking about it before. It was kind of cool how the Pacers were just doing crazy shit and like pressing, like in the first quarter in spurts and so it's fun. Like they're doing things that no other team.
I mean, they have younger legs. They have a deeper team without Giannis being in the game,
and it's their identity. Why would you not? And they're used to it. Why not say fuck the status quo and just? I love when coaches do that. I love when they are just like the opposite of like, well, nobody's done that before. Cool, like that makes me want to do it. Like, and even we're getting a little bit down the rabbit hole now, but like you go to the college basketball ranks in like D2. There's 3 programs that play this absurdly unconventional style where they press for 40, and they're playing.
How deep are their like? How deep's the roster?
They play like 10 deep, 10, 11
you would
deep.
have to do that, right?
But now it's not. Is it one of the programs went from their worst season in school history, not playing the system, to the best season in school history in 1 year with the same personnel, and the other 2 are top 10 in the country every year and met in the national championship 2 years ago. So it's like but they're the only 3 programs we know of that are doing that. So make sense to me. Why
conditioning?
But like learn, like get conditioned, like learn a different style of play. But we're getting off topic. But like credit to my boy Rick Carlisle is my point. Is like he's
Yeah, you know him really well.
And that's why they were good in the regular season though too. Yeah, dude.
Disclaimer: Johnny
I'm about to
is
text
not
him and tell him
friends
make
with
sure he listens
Carlisle.
to this one. Yeah. I was actually gonna say I'm so nasally. You're like disclaimer. I was gonna be like sponsored by Kleenex, and I knew you were gonna be like not sponsored by Kleenex. Like, I was just waiting for your like, but yeah, dude, I'm best 3-4 days of a beginning of a playoff series that I can remember, and it takes a lot for me to say that.
Yeah.
But every game has been like every game has been the way it's supposed to be. Is how
Yeah.
I feel. So that's all fun. Fun question, sports question
right.
to start. Now you can give this to a championship to a person for the Masters or to an individual for Stipe Miocic for
Okay.
UFC if you're that big of a fan. You get 10 allotted championships. You can give all 10 Super Bowls to the Browns. How would you disperse these championships amongst your favorite athletes, teams, in any way that you want? It's a wild one, right?
That's great.
Because my brain goes to like the Cavs are winning 10 in a row.
You're-
Like fuck with me. You can root for any squad you want.
I'm
like
going,
my team won 10 years in a row. Like,
the Browns get 4.
okay.
The Guardians get 3.
Okay.
The Cavs get the other 3.
All right, that's pretty-
We're keeping it in the family here.
Mine sucks because like I haven't even thought of
You
my
also
answer.
like more.
Just
You also
go.
like a lot more like athletes than me.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
you might give one to an athlete,
But I wouldn't
I'm not
give
giving
it,
a Masters.
I wouldn't give
away.
it. I wouldn't give it to like an athlete that would rival a team that I grew up like, unless I personally know this person.
Okay.
You know. So, I mean, I don't know. Off top of my head, though, I'm giving the most to the Cavs. I'm gonna keep it pretty simple.
All right.
Okay. This is a little bit.
You're giving probably one to the Guardians.
I'm going 7 ships to the Cavs.
2 to the Browns, 1 to the
And
Guardians.
I'm only saying 7 because I'm assuming it's a 7. Like one of those is a 4-peat. So then you know, like you take that away from the Bulls, and now it's like,
Yep.
you know, so that's the Cavs one. I'm giving 2 to the Brownies, and I'm giving 1 to the Guards.
All right.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
We wouldn't have a city if all that happened.
I know we wouldn't. And the Cavs would probably lose all their players after their first ring or something. No,
I mean, NBA lets you keep
they do,
players.
They let you keep them, but you got to get them.
Right.
Yeah, and then you got to win with them so that they don't want to leave first, and then
I'll Donovan Mitchell.
yeah,
which I actually think he'll stay.
but like
that's a different combo.
Wemby's never gonna touch a different uniform. Like Luka, like those guys aren't gonna touch different uniforms unless some crazy stuff happens. But
Maybe.
yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that shit.
I mean,
too much.
Let's say
changes.
Pop leaves San Antonio, becomes miserable.
Yeah,
San Antonio, it's a nice city, but it's not glamorous.
Oh, 2 things we
Maybe
didn't talk.
you know where I could actually see Wemby eventually heading. I could see him one day in New Orleans. Louisiana has a
That's
very
so
strong.
random.
No, because Louisiana has a really strong
French
culture. Yes, the French connection.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, different conversation. A lot would have to happen.
That's like, yeah, Michael Jordan reincarnated.
Or you just stretch
now
out
on the
Zion and he becomes
we didn't talk about. We don't have to. Tyrese Maxey won Most Improved. Naz Reid won Sixth Man.
I mean, Naz Reid killed the Cavs this year.
Naz Reid is a superstar. Like he's a super bench guy.
Yeah.
Like he's all year I said what makes the Wolves so dangerous is they don't lose a beat when Gobert goes down and Naz Reid goes in. So easy there.
I mean, they even probably get better offensively when Naz is in the game over Gobert.
Yeah, they do.
And then Maxey, great year. Embiid's out most of the year, leads the team. That one's a little surprising because he was already a really good player.
It's like, how good did you think he was beforehand, though? But
exactly. Like, in my opinion, he went from like a 6.5 to like an 8.
Fair.
And I don't know if that's.
I put him like 8.5 or 9. Like, I think he's a star. I think he's going to become a repetitive all-star now. Like,
okay.
I think he's so good. We're watching, the game last night. He's a one-man offense in the fourth quarter, and it takes so much pressure off of Embiid when they can just play that 2-man game, and you can't follow Maxey with 2, like, and just leave Embiid out there. Like, you have to account for both, and they keep the whole side of the court empty when he's hitting his, like, JJ Redick style, like, to his right side, catch and shoot deep threes. Stud. He's so, like, I'm taking Maxey over Garland, bro. Like, He's a
Okay,
better. No, he's a better player.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
I'm
he
taking
is.
him over
You didn't have
Trae
to
Young.
say it.
I'm taking him over Trae
Yeah,
Young.
Trae gonna play defense.
I'm taking him over. I'm just saying, like, he's a star. Like, he's not just another player.
You
like,
take him over Jaylen Brown.
he's not even like, huh?
Jaylen Brown.
Like,
Oh, do you take him over?
Great question, because that's as close as it gets for me.
That's what, because I put him on. Like,
that's the level he's on.
He's equal to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Big fan though, because he's like also like my style of play. Like, he's fun, he's fast, he shoots
Guard,
crazy.
yeah.
He's
He can shoot a 3.
Yeah, dude.
And he really got to shine now that Harden, got out of Philly.
Yeah, bro. And great. He's got that moxie. Like, he just plays with like this, like, his hair's flying around everywhere.
Yep.
He's just got it. But I think they're gonna release the rest of the awards this week, so we'll talk about the rest next week. Can I give you? All right, I did this like 4 times already. I got one more fun question.
All right.
We talked about Tatum a little bit, and
Yeah.
we're talking about the Cavs and Paolo matchups. In 3 years, who's better, Tatum or Paolo?
I'm still gonna go Tatum.
Dude, I'm going Paolo.
Paolo's got to learn to shoot.
I feel you. He's got a little bit more of that killer stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
That I feel. I mean, he's in year 2, and I also think he gets easy ones easier than Tatum, and his mid range is elite, and he's got a little bit more. Like, I don't even know what their measurables are. Like, if
I think he's
one's
like
longer than
Paolo's
the other.
6'8", but I think Tatum's a little longer than Paolo.
I'll tell you the thing that makes me take Paolo is I think he's got a little bit of brawn in him, where he looks over the defense and can control an offense and like get you good looks time and time. I think Tatum's more of like leans to playing a more Kobe style than LeBron style.
That
but
makes sense. Tatum used to train with Kobe.
For sure. And it's not a negative thing.
Right.
It's just that he
Different
doesn't
style.
He is not that efficient.
And now it shows
At
though
that
how
level.
important Evan Mobley is to the Cavaliers, because when Evan Mobley's been on Banchero, Banchero's been shooting 20%.
Yep.
So that's why I think, you're making the comparison that Paolo's going to be better than Tatum. Evan Mobley, go guard Tatum in crunch time.
For sure. We're gonna have to rely on. So I can't wait. That series is happening. But I can't wait.
We have to win tomorrow.
Or let it be Miami. We'll win tomorrow. Don't worry.
Ah.
No, but even if the Magic make it 2-1, Game 4 is gonna be that series. We know that.
Yeah.
So if the Cavs win tomorrow, it's probably over. All right. Fun question.
All right, the fun one.
Pop. Dr. Pepper. Coke. Pepsi. I don't care what it is. Okay.
Dr. Pepper #1.
Yeah, we agree, baby. Let's go. Dr. Pepper, no doubt.
Yeah.
But that pop, so your favorite is Dr. Pepper, so we're going to have similar, we can rank these in the same way. Can, bottle, fountain. What is your favorite? And the fountain could be a 2-liter, it could be
the fountain, like a big gulp from Speedway, kind of.
Like it could be a Speedway,
like
it could be
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Okay. So this is interesting because like I went to the gas station. Yeah, so my wife doesn't always like when I drink pop. But I was like, if I go to the gas station and pump gas in your car, I earned a pop, right? So
you earned the pop.
Usually I get
You earned 2 pops.
I usually get the 20-ounce bottle, but I was like, you know what? It's only been okay. I actually got the fountain, so I'm gonna go fountain 1, can 2, bottle 3 for Dr. Pepper.
Anticlimactic, same exact ranking.
It's because the can and the fountain has that extra crispness that really makes a difference over the bottle.
It has like a little. It's like,
and the can keeps it colder.
Yeah, and it's almost like they like. I feel like when you're having the fountain one, it's like they like forgot. There's like extra syrup or some shit in there. Like they like forgot to take the syrup. I don't know, but it does taste different. Like you can't convince me they all taste the same. I won't even drink the 20-ounce bottles, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't like them. Like I feel like they taste watered down, or like I'm like I may as well just have a water.
They're also not as cold.
Yeah, they're not as cold. I don't know. They're just not as good. They're not as good. But like a McDonald's Dr. Pepper. Oh.
Now Coke at McDonald's is amazing. And the reason for that is McDonald's actually follows the serving suggestions for the fountain given to them by Coca-Cola.
More important question than that.
Okay.
Why do you know that?
Why?
Why?
It's just stuff you've researched. It's just stuff you know. For the bottle, though, the one exception I'll make is Coke in a glass bottle. And that is the
you
one
get
exception.
and you hear it, and it's like the commercial noise. I feel you.
That's the exception.
I accept.
But my hierarchy goes Dr. Pepper.
Just one more
Coke,
time. Say this again. McDonald's follows what?
How you're supposed to serve it in the
how you're supposed to serve Coke?
I believe, from what I've read, you're supposed to chill it before you put it in the fountain thing. And McDonald's actually follows that guideline. That's why Coke at McDonald's tastes better than normal. At least that's what I read. I could be totally wrong on this.
You made up
maybe I did,
but that's cool.
You're talking to someone who I do like McDonald's too.
It's interesting. I'm not proud of what I've been like with pop lately, but I've been drinking it like it's like I will die in the next 10 minutes if I don't have pop. So that's how
this is not a commercial for pop.
All right.
But if anyone want to sponsor us,
we'll try to get. Do we even know when we're going to record the next episode?
Probably this weekend, right?
We'll try to do it this weekend. Let's try to do this weekend, and we'll get it up to hopefully preview. We'll know majority of the second round matchups. Yeah, good shit. I like it. Shoot it, baby. Shoot it.